despacito. La verdad, nosotros, yo soy, ¿no?
Como la canción.
Con la canción. Sí, después bailamos.
Exacto.
Bueno, la verdad, yo soy de Brasil, ¿no? Ustedes saben que en Brasil nosotros hablamos portugués, no Spanish, no español. Y entonces siempre decimos que los brasileños hablamos portuñol, que es una mezcla de portugués con español. Pero acá yo voy a hablar portuñol con romeno, ¿verdad? Espero que lo puedan entender. Bueno, yo quería hablar específicamente de las cosas que estamos haciendo con el tema de la agenda en la sesión, porque como ustedes saben, yo soy de la chair de la sesión de América Latina y Caribe, pero Jesús creo que va a hablar un poco de más general de la IFLA, y entonces quizá Jesús habla primero, porque va a dar una noción de los programas estratégicos de IFLA, ¿verdad? Y después,
sí,
más o menos.
Más o menos, ok.
Bueno, y después entonces yo cuento lo que estamos haciendo en la región. ¿No es mejor? ¿O quiere que yo empiece?
Como guste.
Bueno, creo que es mejor que usted
Okay.
abra por primero. Perdón. ¿Cambiamos?
Okay, I really don't know what is better, to speak in English or to speak in Spanish. And this is for our Romanian colleagues. English.
English.
Okay. Well, my presentation, are you recording this or not?
Yes.
You're recording?
Yes.
Okay, there is no need for a mic?
I am recording 3D there.
Okay, but you don't need to.
Microphone.
No. It has a micro inside.
Okay. Well, I don't know how many are familiar with the United Nations 2030 agenda. Yes? Can you explain us a little bit what it is?
The new agenda aided to the three millennium strategic goals, poverty eradication, health and education, two more ones, creating peaceful and inclusive societies.
Okay.
So, that's why we have to adapt the national strategic development strategy to include the new strategic development goals from the new agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Well, the United Nations, you know, well, is the largest and most important government body in the world. You know, united countries from the highly developed, medium developed to the less developed countries. Well, they have agreed on an agenda for the next few years, up to 2030, to develop an agenda for to achieve different goals. There are 17, isn't that, sorry? 17 goals. And those goals have been agreed by all governments, including Romania, including Mexico, Brazil, France, Italy, so on. So this is sort of like the major framework where United Nations will work in the next years. And IFLA, you know what IFLA is? IFLA is the International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions. It's an organization with more than 70 years old that unites libraries and anything that has to do with information services. Well, IFLA has undertaken the UN agenda of these sustainable goals as part of the strategic goals that will work in the next few years. So IFLA is asking librarians, and governments to unite and work on these goals. And libraries are the best places to work for these 17 goals, because in general, we're working with that vision. However, as a librarians, we normally do not have the political leadership or the political voice to do it. So IFLA is developing different strategies that Sueli can mention. Jonathan Hernandez, I think we touched the same topic, how libraries could get involved in working toward these goals of the United Nations if we align what we are doing. Because libraries in general are working in one, two, and maybe in all of these goals. Now, what is the history behind? Well, these are more or less the topics that I forgot to mention. Basically, the libraries need to be part of international politics. National ones and the local ones. We need to raise our voice in regards of information access for our users, regardless of their income, nationality, if they are women or men or so. And the things that we could do. The next one, please. Okay, IFLA has been working toward these goals for several years. I would say throughout the history of IFLA has been working on how to strengthen these skills in the library and information sector in order to provide access and information to the communities. The next one. One of the things that IFLA has been working in the last few years is to raise the voice in international organizations. And the main one, which is the United Nations, IFLA achieved something that is very important, that libraries and information access were included within these 17 goals. So it gives a framework to libraries in order to work for this mission. This was achieved the year before the last, and it took a lot of effort from IFLA in order to get, information access within the United Nations agenda. The steps that IFLA took before the United Nations lobbying was to make this declaration in Lyon during the conference in France, where several organizations, I don't know if Romanian Library Association took part or not, but associations from around the world signed this declaration that was the key document in order to get the United Nations and governments to listen what libraries can do in regard to information access. So this declaration is on IFLA website. You can read it. It's quite inspirational. It gives you a lot of arguments on how to defend and how to work towards this goal. Next one. Here you can see some of the organizations that signed the declaration. I don't know if there is a Romanian one, but if it isn't, it doesn't matter because it has already been achieved. So you can see there is a mosaic of different bodies, organizations, and people who signed the declaration and made United Nations listen to IFLA. Now, here are the 17 goals. You can see that in general it covers most of the human concerns of socioeconomic and political development. I'm going to mention them in order to make them clear, but you can see number one, to eliminate poverty. It's a major goal. It may sound impossible, but I think humankind are intelligent enough. We work together. Maybe we cannot eliminate it, but we could reduce it among countries, within countries, and within cities. The second one is hunger. Hunger is a challenge in several parts of the world. The third one is health. Fourth, education. And I would like you to think what libraries can do in regard to those goals. And you will see that each of you may be working towards these goals. Maybe 2, 3, or maybe all of them. So in regard to education, certainly libraries are working in regards to this goal. The fifth is equality in terms of women and men. 6, clean water. 7, energy, that is accessible and clean. 8, access to work and economic development. 9, industry, innovation, and development of infrastructure in countries. 10, reduce inequalities in the world. 11, cities and communities that are sustainable in terms of ecology, in terms of economy, so on. Number 12, production and consumption that are responsible, so that we consume in a responsible manner in order to protect the planet. 7, can someone help me to read 7? Got it? I think we did that. Okay, sorry, 13.
13. And for the war on the...
Work on climate.
Yes.
Okay? So the 13 has to do with climate, that we have to do something to protect the planet. Number 14, a Romanian colleague. 14, you can say it in Romanian. Español, ok. Micaela, ok.
Sí, se habla de la cultura.
14, ¿qué trata el 14? 14. Vida submarina, the importance of the seas, of the oceans. Number 15. Okay, vida ecosistemas terrestres. Ecosystems and planet. This has to do with the protection of the planet. Number 16. On this side?
Elimination of the corruption.
Okay. Paz, which is peace, justice, and solid institutions, strong institutions for justice, which is in some countries is a problem. For example, Latin America faces big challenges in this regard. And number 17. Yeah, collaborations, alliances to achieve these goals. Well, in one of those goals, information access is included. What is it, Jonathan? In number 16, information access is included. It's important. And it's important because if you want to define your library budget, if you want to work on information access for your community, this gives you, an international policy framework so you can work for that. So what IFLA is asking libraries and librarians is to promote what they are doing in regards to these goals. It has created different tools, different toolkits in order to help librarians to be active. If you do it, you will be part of international politics, national politics, and local politics. And you can influence your governments on how to support libraries and information services. The next one. Sorry. Okay. Well, yes, I mentioned that it was included within the agenda that I already mentioned, that access to information based on literacy, universal literacy, is fundamental for any national development. The next one. Here is the text. It is in Spanish. Hopefully it will be clear to all of you. But the goal 16, that 10, is the one that has to do with libraries and information services. And you can use it to talk to your politicians in order to get support and to promote information access. The next one. So, what IFLA is asking you is to take action, to raise your voice, to work toward these goals. And please go to IFLA website. I don't know if one of our speakers will mention it, but IFLA has already developed different toolkits on how libraries could become, leaders in this matter. The next one. IFLA, for example, is promoting the proper use of copyright, the proper use, of freedom of information in order to support these goals. Here is a list of the different documents that you could use for this task. The next one. The next one is sort of like a history of how IFLA got involved within the United Nations in order to work for the UN 2003 agenda. The next one. This is the last. Okay, this is more or less the general framework of the UN 2003 agenda, which is part of our program. You see the title of the meeting is talking about the UN agenda and the forthcoming society. What our societies require in order to have a better economic, social, and political development. And I think information is important because information is knowledge, is experience. So if every citizen, or most citizens, were able to use information, they will improve their thinking, their decision making, and will certainly improve their own lives and their own countries. And it's up to you, our librarians, to undertake these goals. And I hope you undertake them. Thank you.